Honestly, you should hit the record button anytime I'm on here, but we'll just move on.
Well, with all of that being said, welcome to the dish, live on the scene. This is your boy Jerm, aka the skipper, is in the building. Here of the World Series participant Houston Astros. Yes, I still rep my team even in the wakes. With that being said, I'm gonna pass it to the champ real quick. I'm gonna let him say his spiel, and then we're gonna go around the horn. This is the dish, live on the scene, presented by, sponsored by Monkey Knife Fights. Go and check those over unders. The scene, all capital letters, get you matched up to $100. Just say, tell them that the scene sent you, and they'll match up to 100. And that's how we do this thing. With that being said, Trav, go ahead and talk to him.
Now you know what it is, man. Your boy Championship Trav, Atlanta Braves representative, man. World champs. Man, I'm just here just to have a good time with the fellas, man. I like seeing the faces, man. Especially the guru face. His frowns makes my smile. So, hey, guru, talk to him, man. Let him know what it is.
Listen, I like your name, Trav. I just don't like the word championship in front of it. Listen, I mean, happy to be back after a week off, man. Let's talk some baseball. Let's talk a little bit about the World Series. Let's talk about, this lockout that's, looming, and these free agents that have signed. Now, can you remove the championship, in front of your name, Trav, please?
Not yet.
What's up, Ty? How you doing, man? Talk to the people.
I'm just here so I don't get fined or so I don't cuss out Trav. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Congratulations, man. I said it and I say it again. Congratulations. Even though I'm not happy about it internally, I have had ulcers the last couple of weeks since we've been off the air. But I'll let Trav have his victory lap. I had mine in 2020, and he gets 2021. That's cool with me.
Thank you, Mister. I've said it twice and I won't say it again. Y'all see the name change, but we'll talk about that next week. But I'm just happy to be here, man. It's been a minute since we've been here. Let's talk some baseball. Let's go. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. So with that being said, with everything, let's just get right into this. We have some pressing issues to talk about. Do we want to start with the obvious passing events?
As far as the World Series goes?
Yes. Would you like to say anything and make and conclude and things like that?
We would like to. I don't know about Ty, but
okay, let's go.
Man,
Dusty Baker lost. The end.
Listen, that's the biggest thing. Dusty Baker not getting this championship for the Astros, that's disappointing. He should have one already. I mean, honestly, he should really actually have 2 or 3. If we're talking, honestly.
Damn rally monkeys.
One of the best managers out there. One of the most liked managers out there too. And he's still looking for his first World Series ring.
It's one of the most recognizable names in baseball in the last 50 years.
Yeah, really. And aside of that, man, on the other side of that, the Braves, nobody expected them there. I think I sent you guys in the chat what Vince Scully said. Hank Aaron wore number 44. They won 44 games in the first half of the year, won 44 in the second half of the year, and won the World Series in the 44th week of the year. That's crazy. So somebody was definitely looking out for them above, man. In a year to where they lost Acuna and they thought that they weren't going to do anything and they weren't going to get anywhere, they made the moves to make them World Series champs. And I think at the time, Storms, we said Soler was going to be a huge pickup. And who's MVP? Soler. So, he deserves it all. And then, in baseball, we're looking at
shut up, Trav.
In baseball, we're looking at relievers that play a big part in the World Series, and not for the Braves. Max Fried was huge. Max Fried won 6 innings in that last game. He gave up no runs after almost getting injured in the first inning when Gurriel, I believe it was, right, that stepped on his ankle. So, man, big ups to him. He keeps doing what he's doing in the regular season with what he did in the World Series. This kid is gonna get paid, and he deserves it. And that's all I got, Trav. That's all you're gonna hear from me. Next.
Hey, I got a bone to pick with you now, Jorge.
What's up?
You said not the Braves in relation to relievers.
No.
Magic,
I said
man.
in the year of the, when we look at relievers more than
gotcha.
starting pitching.
Okay.
Max Fried balled out, man. He deserves everything he's getting right now. The praise he's getting.
Okay. Beef removed. You know what though? Like I cannot say enough about his first name Tyler Matzik.
That's correct.
That man, I mean, he came into what 5 or 6 different high leverage situations for the Braves in the NLCS and World Series and just pitched absolutely lights out.
Yes.
He did basically what we thought that almost no reliever could do to the Dodgers lineup for one. And then again to come in and it was the NLCS, wasn't it, where he came in with the bases loaded and struck out 3 in a row?
No, yeah, that on the second and third. It was second and third.
Yeah,
yes.
But I mean, his play didn't. He played just as well in the World Series, and he's a huge reason why they won it. I just there's not much else to say that Jorge didn't cover. Just that the Braves just absolutely defied expectations. At the beginning of the season, I had them losing in the NLCS again to the Dodgers. About 2 months into the season, I had them missing the playoffs by a wide margin, and they turn around and traded for not 3, 4 different outfielders and completely revamped their lineup, and just can't say enough about how those guys played for them down the stretch. Postseason heroes, all 4 of them. Just congratulations and hats off to the Braves, man.
Go ahead, Ty. Get it off the chest, sir.
I'll give the Braves their props. And I did, before the series started, I picked them. I said it was going to be just like 2019, and I was 1 game off. When you come into the dance and the Fall Classic with all the confidence in the world, of which the Braves had, and you have your best player being your best cheerleader. But when I think of this Braves team, they're exactly that, a team. They all had each other's backs. They all did their jobs, and they all, held themselves accountable. When you think of accountable, no one exemplified that more than, Fried. When you go from game 2 and what happened to him in game 2 to closing it out in game 6, you can't, ask, one of arguably your best pitcher. You can't ask anything else, except for, just to get the job done. And salute to, their skipper, who is not named Jerm, who is not a skipper, by the way. Just had to throw that out there, just so y'all know. But to have faith.
Keep digging your hole. Keep digging your hole. Go ahead. Keep digging your hole. Go ahead.
Not a skipper. But anyway, and when you have, a manager, who trusts, his starting pitcher, doesn't, question, what his stuff, and says, hey, ball's in your glove, go get us one. And that's what he did. And that's what the Braves did, 20, plus years, they were hungry, and city of Atlanta was hungry, and, they deserve it. And I'll pass it to Trav. I'll call the man one time and one time on the championship, Trav, and then after that, you'll never hear me say it again.
Man, I'm just so proud of my team, man, and how they fought through. I mean, they didn't get they didn't get over 500 to probably about in August, which we was doing a power ranking every other week, and they broke the power ranking first high in August. And all I've been saying was, let's make it to the dance. Let's make it to the dance. Let's just get an opportunity. Get an opportunity. I mean, like you guys said, Soler, he hits big. Either he gonna strike out or he gonna hit a hard shot. He got hot during the playoffs, especially when he was out for COVID and came back for the World Series. His first at bat was a home run. Rosario, oh God, he was hot from get-go. He was hot from get-go. Jacques came up big, and Duval just played some of the best center field you can play as a Brave. And Freddie was being Freddie because I sure got discouraged those first two games against the Dodgers. Oh my God. What was he? 0 for 7, 0 for 8? 7 of them was strikeouts. But when Cat 5 put the picture up about him, that's when he started getting hot. And he took it on from
Would
there.
you stop calling me a damn jinx, man?
I blame you, sir. I blame you.
From game three on, he got hot and he clicked. That whole lineup started clicking on all cylinders. And when it was time to step up to the mic and sing on the biggest stage, they did just that, man. Congratulations to my Braves, man. Jerm, wrap it up, man. What's good?
So, first of all, that was a situation where the Braves were the better team this year in particular.
I said that
The
first.
biggest thing, Ty, your hole is already dug. So when I get you,
In case you
it's about
needed
to
any
be
further
bad.
confirmation that you're not the skipper.
Hey, look. Everywhere I go, I'm the head of the table. I don't know what life he talk about. So look, whatever. But
Just
anyway,
because you wear the shirt.
no, it's not about the shirt. It's not about the shirt. It ain't about the shirt. But look, all I'm gonna say is this. It's just like this when it comes down to it. You have to give credit where it's due. The Braves were the better team when it comes down to it. The lineup hit when they needed to hit. The pitching staff buckled down when they needed to buckle down, and they made the defensive plays when they need to make the defensive plays in the outfield. And that's what it comes down, and in the infield as well. That's what it comes down to in these situations. Trav knows that my motto and my mantra in life, and which is something he has adapted this same mantra, which is just get there. Because everything once you get to the postseason is a new season. This is the season after the other season. So you just want to be playing your best baseball going, or your best of any sport going into the fourth quarter of the actual season, because that is when you need to be playing your best. Period. It's just that simple. We did see the two best teams last year in the World Series. We did do that. Unfortunately, we got teams like the Dodgers that they like to dodge the World Series every year, but they do that because they just don't have the ability to play as a well-oiled machine. They don't make the plays when they need to make the plays, and that's what the Braves did that in 2 series in a row. In 2 series in a row, they made the plays when they needed to. They made sure that they held up when runners were on second and third in the scoring position. They made sure that they made the right plays, the right throws, everything. Everything was just perfect for them. So shouts out to them. They did their thing. No hard feelings. Now, as far as Ty goes, just real quick, just to wrap this all up.
You got this man ready to grab his bag like LeBron James.
I know he'll be okay. Because he wanted to come at the skipper. So now the skipper is about to go ahead and just indulge into Ty real quick, indulge into the pettiness. So with all of that being said, Ty, of course you said that the Braves were the better team. You know why? Because they just beat you. That's why they were the better team, because they just beat you. So you felt like if you would have went to the World Series, you would have won, because you would have thought you were the better.
Come back on camera for that. Oh,
So
damn.
you got your ass kicked, and then got mad that your ass wasn't in the World Series. So of course you thought the Braves were the better team because they just got finished whooping on your ass. So thank you for stating that you felt that the Braves were the better team. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tyve Thru. Guess what? Now you are through. There you go. And so is the season for the Dodgers before the World Series. Congratulations, Braves. Congratulations.
Hey, before we move, actually, you know what? I'm gonna make things fair. Ty, I'm gonna give you the floor. Let you respond to the so-called skipper.
I let him have his victory lap because he made it to the Fall Classic. I was not present. I was on the sidelines on the couch. So well played. You still ain't the skipper. That's all I gotta say. And what did the midget do for you lately? He couldn't deliver for you. Pick a new team.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. We're loaded. Don't worry. We got prospects coming up to fill some of these spots. We're loaded. It's okay. It's
right.
Hey, look, we actually use our prospects and they actually developing this stuff. Yo, we don't trade them for players.
First of all, how much y'all paying Verlander? How much y'all paying him again for 1 year?
We can a couple.
Oh no, not just 1 year, sir. He has a player option.
Hey, we can play him for a couple years. A couple dimes and a half. We
Don't
can play
spend
him.
all your coins. Don't spend all your coins.
Hey, for real though, like the Astros got some concerns. It's not just we lost the World Series. They're losing Correa. They're not losing Verlander, but at the same time, dude didn't pitch this last year. You don't know you know you're going to get at least a serviceable pitcher out of him when he comes back, but you don't know that you're getting Justin Verlander back. You're going to pay him $25 million. You're going to give him a player option. So if he comes back and puts up a 5 ERA and has a bad season, now you're stuck paying him probably 20. I don't think it's been announced what the player options for, but probably $27 million for another year. Which with that kind of a contract, even if you DFA him, you're probably on the hook for 15. Like
that's a lot of money on an elbow.
It is.
That's an expensive ass elbow.
It is. And if it works out, then great. Y'all got a discount because Scherzer's probably going to sign for 50 a year. If he comes back and he's Verlander again, y'all got a great deal. But if he comes back and he's not, you got hosed, man. Like
you just need wait. What he could come back and do is not worse than what we just seen. What do you mean?
And you would pay that $25 million?
You know what? You know what the sad part about this is? We just were talking about this in basketball on a 94 show. Sometimes people get paid for what they have already done.
Sure.
We're right now in this situation, you're paying a guy who's a Hall of Fame pitcher to come back and give you he doesn't have to be 100% Justin Verlander. You just need him at 50, 60% because you have a lineup that scores. You're going to score 5 runs. So you just need a guy that can come in and hold this other team to 3 runs and be a 1 or 2 pitcher. That's really what you need.
I get that. I'm not saying it's a bad deal. I'm just saying I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's a question. So, bro, I get it because it's questionable because these are the risks that we take in sports. I mean, look at the Dodgers. They take risk every year that they keep extending Kershaw. It's a risk every year. But look, hey, man, I'm on fire. I'm strapped in.
Here's my thing, though. Like,
wow,
for me personally,
Gene.
one year at $25 million for Justin Verlander, regardless of what he's been through the last year or two, for Justin Verlander, I can swing that. I can't give you a player option when I don't know what I'm getting. I can't do it.
And if that is your argument, there is no argument to that because logically, again, there's logically and then there's the feelings part of it. Logically, you're just paying a guy who you believe, or you're saying, you know what, I'm going to believe in this guy. I'm going to rock with this guy. And if that's what you're going to do, fine. But the player option is like, that's a little too much.
All right, let me ask you something. I got a question to pose you. So the current deal with Verlander, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's go.
Lord have mercy.
There's a lot of pitchers available. Don't forget, you
There,
got a Cy Young winner.
There are. Ty, throw out a random top tier free agent pitcher right now.
Random, like, wow.
Top
Whoever,
tier.
anybody.
You said top tier.
Not not a top tier pitcher, but a top tier current free agent.
Okay, I can give you two. I can give you Marcus Stroman and Robbie Ray.
All right, Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
So
Rodon.
Jerm, for the Astros, Verlander's current deal or Robbie Ray on a 4-year, $130 million contract.
Say go
Rodon. Give me Verlander. I'm gonna tell you why.
Absolutely not.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. You have prospects that you're bringing up, number one. So that veteran leadership that you're going to get from Verlander is going to be pivotal, consider that you do have a couple prospects that you're probably going to bring up to the majors this year.
That's
also,
true.
on top of that,
rotation is young too, so I'll give you that.
Yeah. So that part of it is where that's why this is a 2-year window to try to fix your pitching more than it is anything else, in my opinion.
Here's my thing though. Now I might have been off on the money for Robbie Ray. I was just throwing something out there.
No. That for the purpose of what you did, I get what you're doing. Go ahead.
4-year 130 is a lot, but what I'm getting at though is with Ray, you get the highest all-time Ks per nine rate. Now, that doesn't mean he's the best pitcher of all time. Let's be real, but at the same time, you're getting that. You're getting the current AL Cy Young winner, and you're still getting that veteran leadership.
I'm gonna ask you this.
It's not Verlander's veteran leadership. I understand that too, but you're getting veteran leadership out of a guy that you already know can perform at the highest level right now.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many years has he performed at this high level? 2, 3, 2, 3.
A couple.
You're talking about a guy who's been consistent for the most part of his entire career. You're talking about longevity.
Robbie Ray honestly isn't. There are a couple of things about Ray that concern me a little bit. For one, there hasn't been a single 2-year span in his career where his walk rate has decreased. So it's kind of so that's why I said 4 years, 130 was a lot of money for Ray. You don't know exactly what you're going to get. You might get the Cy Young winner. You might get a guy who's going to walk twice as many people next year because he's done that 2 or 3 times in his career.
Hopefully not. Word to the Diamondbacks, you don't get Diamondbacks, Robbie Ray.
Right.
Here's my issue to take it a step further with you, Storms, is re-signing Verlander, which was the first person we were going to talk about as far as signing goes. Is you're paying for an ace with not knowing what you're going to get out of them, and you having number 2 and 3 pitchers on your staff already, because Valdez and Garcia are not aces. You need an ace. With throwing Verlander.
Trav. That's enough. Hush.
We're getting Verlander back in the mix, and not knowing what you're gonna get out of him.
You're praying that you get 2019 again, which props to Verlander, hell of a season. He won a Cy Young, but where was he 2020, and where was he this year as well?
Yeah.
Well, and then with Ray, you got the same thing because you don't know if you're going to get a Cy Young out of him next year. I mean, not even just the award, but that caliber of play because of his track record. So I get that. And because of that, I maybe would have thrown a different name out there for the purpose of this exercise. But at the same time, my point is that's just a lot of damn money for Verlander when you throw in the player option.
You know how this works? You know how this works, and this is the only way this works? If Astros boost their bullpen. If they boost their bullpen and they're able to close that gap in between Verlander, I was about to say Kershaw, between Verlander and the closer, it can work because you're not going to put a lot of innings on the line.
So that actually brings up something that I was going to talk about next week, and I'll just mention it this time. the White Sox accepted the $16.5 million option on Craig Kimbrell. And there has been some speculation on whether or not they've done that just to trade him. I think the most recent reports have been that they expect to keep him, but we all know that anytime there are trade rumors, you got to take it seriously because a team will also throw that out there just to drive the asking price up.
Yep.
So, I mean, imagine Craig Kimbrell in an Astros uniform. You do that, and I no longer have any complaints about the Verlander deal.
Yes, agreed. If they get two legit relievers to where you know they're going to be good, and they can close that gap, yeah, that signing was a no-brainer, to be honest. But it's yet to be seen what they're going to do. So
also, I threw the $130 million number out there for Robbie Ray to make the conversation more interesting because he ain't getting $34 million.
Yeah. So let's move from one pitcher that hasn't pitched in 2 years to another pitcher that hasn't pitched in 2 years. How about Noah Syndergaard going to the Angels? 1 year, $21 million. Thor heading out west. And the thing that Met fans are all crazy about, since I'm a Met fan, is that they gave him a qualifying offer for $19 million for 1 year, and he went out west for $2 million more, and he didn't give the Mets a chance to counteroffer, which that's fine. He doesn't have to.
18-4. Qualifying offer was 18-4.
Yeah, so yeah, it was about 2 million, whatever, 2 million, 2.6 more, whatever. So we talked about this. We talked about the Angels getting some pitching. And what did they do? They got one of the best young arms out there when healthy. Again, when healthy. Because we always talk about the best, what availability is, what was the saying that we always use?
The best ability is availability.
Thank you. We always say that. And this guy has not pitched in 2 years. He's been hurt twice, Tommy John surgery already. And he's going on, he's 30 years old.
I brought up a point before the show that I want to make sure we throw out there with that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
We talked about the healthier pitchers. Zach Wheeler was hurt for 3 years, and then he goes to Philadelphia and throws for 250 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe getting away from the Mets training staff is going to be is going to do the trick for Syndergaard. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. Y'all, not only your pitchers, but y'all have injuries all over the place.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the training staff there or it's the expectation of the front office and management for what these players need to do, and they're overworking them. I don't know what it is, but just seeing Wheeler go out there and throw twice as many innings as he's ever thrown in his career without having any injury issues and putting up a Cy Young caliber season, it makes me feel better about that deal for the Angels.
I can tell you why Thor signed with the Angels. When you look at that rotation, besides Ohtani, who else had over a certain amount of starts and pitched as many innings close enough to what Ohtani did last season? Nobody. So you actually have a spot where you can get paid, but you can also play. So that's why probably Thor did it, is because looking at the rotation, he can do some things and he can be, either complement Ohtani or go head to head with him. Either way. But there's nobody else who's going to help solidify that rotation. Now, if it's true what I'm hearing out of, the Halos camp, you have Trout in management's ear trying to get Scherzer. So the Angels are going all in on starting pitching, this offseason. They're buyers for starting pitchers. So there's so many available. You got Gausman, you got Rodon, you got plenty of guys who can, get picked up if the Halos are going to spend like they're spending. But from what I'm hearing, Trout is in management's ear to get Scherzer.
Okay, and this is where we cut and we get other video and put it together about us talking about Trout saying that, you know, he's gonna be wanting pitchers, not pitching, but players to come here, or he's gonna ask for a trade. And that's
I
exactly
don't think
what
I don't
he's
think they're
doing.
gonna get him.
That's exactly what he's doing.
I think Scherzer's gonna get 50 million.
I mean, whatever, but he.
Where?
I'm-
At Dodgers? He gonna stay in LA or he's gonna come to Anaheim?
I mean, there's only four or five franchises that have the pockets deep enough for that.
Yeah.
So you got
Mets.
the Dodgers, the Yankees,
Yankees.
the Cubs, the Angels, and
The Mets.
the Mets, and maybe the White Sox, maybe just because they're in Chicago and they're in the big market. But the White Sox don't typically have as deep pockets as the Cubs do. So,
But what other year you heard Trout going to management and saying we need to do this? And it happened because of the year that Ohtani had. It's happening because Ohtani's there and he knows that window is
Window is closing.
the other thing for the Angels too is they need to put together a rotation that if they want Ohtani to pitch and hit long term, both at the same time, they need to put together a rotation that will allow him to pitch. He's already an every 6-day starter.
Yeah.
He probably needs to pitch once a week, every 7 days. And if he wants to
Can
be
I go a
starting
step further?
pitcher and a hitter long term, both at the same time.
Yeah.
Can I go a step
huge
further?
demand on the body. Yeah, go ahead.
He shouldn't be pitching every week. It should be every other week.
Yeah.
You're talking
I'm with
about a
that too.
situation. Listen, man. We about to get right in here. Bro, Ohtani should pitch once every 14 days, period. It shouldn't be a situation where you should depend on him. He should be a rotational guy and a guy that you bring out the bullpen occasionally and on special situations. So you know how we get the bullpen game in the playoffs? We should have the Ohtani game for the Angels in the postseason. Bro,
Oh, 100%.
this is not rocket science. And this is another thing that speaks to who Mike Trout is and the cerebral player that he is. He understands what is going on with the people he has around him. He sees what Ohtani is right now next to him, and he's trying to preserve his number one, number 2A, whatever it is you want to call it. He's trying to preserve his guy because he knows that's a 40 and 20 and whatever guy with 10 wins under his belt from a pitching standpoint. He knows what he has right there. So he's trying to, bring me in some aces, put them there, and we can figure out the rest. Because they're gonna get, if they get Scherzer, to Cat 5's point, if they get Scherzer, I'm telling y'all right now, and I know there's gonna be 2 bats that are gonna follow. At least 2 bats are going to follow that pitcher. I ain't saying no names. I'm not giving no speculation. I'm telling y'all what I know. This is not hard to figure out. Anaheim will be competing with the Dodgers next year if Scherzer goes to Anaheim. I'm telling y'all this now. Period. I have nothing else to say.
I said this, and me and Jorge, we talked about this in a scenario. We all talked about this. And Trout is doing exactly what I said. He's going to have to be the head of that snake to make this 2-year span. It's going to be 2 years. If they don't get it right in 2 years,
He's gone.
he's gone.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
2s for the 2.
Yeah. We
2s or the 2.
we
If you get the
talked about these
fist, the
matches.
open hand, the fist, or the
It's for the
deuce.
deuce.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yes.
You know, and to go back to Noah Syndergaard, Thor, the reason why he went over there is he met with the general manager, and the general manager told him, you're going to pitch once every 6 days. We see what pitches are working for you. We see where your arm slot is, and we're going to fix that so you don't put enough stress on your arm or your elbow. And he automatically gravitated to that because with the Mets, they have 5 starters. So he's going every 4 days or every 4 or 5 days, whatever. And 6 starters, is, you're not putting enough stress on the elbow and everything. So that can work also for a pitcher like, who we talked about, Scherzer. It could work for a pitcher like Kershaw. Don't forget he's out there too. And, if he goes over there, he doesn't have to be that ace. He can be that 3-4 guy now. You know what I'm saying?
Think about that,
you know,
Jorge. What you just said just blows people's mind. We got to slow it down because I don't think people heard you. Kershaw can go to another team and not have to be an ace, meaning he can now be the third guy that you give the ball to. If he's the second, he could be the second guy that you give the ball to, and that takes everything.
Guy, as long as he's not number one in the postseason, in my opinion. Trav, that's not a shot at Kershaw like it normally is.
What it's saying is,
I just don't
the pressure off of him.
He just doesn't have the stamina to throw 35 games and then go pitch a postseason. He doesn't.
Yeah,
that's why he keeps getting hurt.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Wait. So here's the thing. So if you're Kershaw and you're looking at your career and you're seeing this trend, you got another team that you can go and wear white and red that now you don't have to play 35. Now you can pitch 25 because you got another guy who's going to pitch every 2 weeks in your spot. There you go.
Listen,
and you know what? Give me a rested Kershaw in the postseason 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
But do not tell me that Kershaw has to be my ace after throwing 35, 36 games in the postseason, because I'll go get another pitcher.
How nasty can this be? Just listen to this play out. If the Angels sign, let's say Kershaw, let's say they get him. You have Noah Syndergaard that turns out to be your ace. You have Ohtani that can pitch number 2, and you have Kershaw that can come out the pen. Or you have Kershaw that pitches number 2, and you have Ohtani coming out of the pen. Who the hell in their right mind wants to face that in the playoffs if Noah Syndergaard comes to be what he can be?
I also think
Kershaw could be your number 3.
I also think the Angels will probably pull one of the 3 free agent starters away from San Francisco. California is a nice place to live, man. Cueto, Gausman, or DeSclafani, I think we'll see one of them in an Angels uniform next year.
And this all goes back to what we talked about. Trout being in the GM's ear and saying, "Give me those players, and we'll bring you a championship."
You got a 2-year max. You got a 2-year max to get this right.
Yeah.
Anaheim, you better pull out all your rally monkeys from back then. You got 2 years to get this right.
Let me change the
I'm
background.
going on record right now.
monkeys.
I am still a Stros fan. I will always be a Stros fan. I'm going on record right now. I'm not currently an Anaheim Angel fan. I'm letting y'all know right now. I'm signing the papers right now as we speak. There will be Anaheim. I'm coming to you to help you bring a championship to that city.
Look at that.
Let's go.
Hold up. I know players do this all the time, but as a fan, you cannot stay in the division.
You know what? Yeah. As a fan, let me tell you something, Storms. Sometimes when things are going the way that they're going for the Stros right now, I can't just jump the ship just yet. I gotta stay where I'm at.
Look,
we got a slider.
Time out. If you ever even hear me, even in a joking manner, say anything about considering being a fan of the Cardinals or the Cubs, just fucking shoot me right then and there.
I'll do it. Shut the door.
Hey, that's it.
Mason, I'm sorry.
I'm not in control of my own mind anymore.
Mason, look away.
No, but I'm saying I'm not going to do that, but I am signing my free agent papers today. I will be leaving the Stros in 2 years officially, but I'm signing my free agent papers today to be a part of the Anaheim Angels organization. Shouts out to Mike Trout. I'm telling you, I'm following when Mike Trout
This
gets
is
active,
tampering. Man works
it's-
out a contract.
This
2
is
years in
tampering.
advance.
This is tampering.
No, you cannot do a contract half Astros, half Anaheim. There's no way. You're not going to get away with that. I'm not even let you
Listen,
ride it.
listen,
Cut the paper in half
listen.
and have
Yeah,
two
man.
signatures.
I will be in Anaheim an hour before the first pitch every other day.
Somebody get Jay Prince on the phone. I need him to talk to Jerm real quick.
But how
While you got Jay Prince on the phone, tell him to stop doing that wink and point move.
But how much leverage do the Angels have now? Not only signing Noah Syndergaard to 1 year, but how about if he goes off and they extend him before the season even ends? You know, Storms hit on this in the chat. How about if he winds up having a 12, 11 win year and only loses 4? They extend him another 2 years and they give themselves that window to keep Noah and continue to pitch the way he did that.
That could go both ways because didn't Gaussman do the same thing with the Giants? He bet on himself, and look where he at right now.
Yep.
I just want to see. You know what I want to see for Thor's purpose. You know what I'm saying? Not pitching for 2 years. The same thing that I want for Verlander. I want these guys to come out and ball.
Yeah.
And not because of anything other than I just want these guys to bounce back and come back just as good, if not better, because they're smarter. Because now they know what they need to do. They know that they have to be more careful with their body. So I want to see them win. I don't want to see these guys lose ever in anything, especially when it comes to their body failing them. I want to see this guy ball out. I want them to get a couple more arms to help all together. And that's what I want to see. And Storms, I know everybody here telling me I can't have a half contract. What is an Arnold Palmer? Half tea, half
I was
lemonade.
about to say.
I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing because I thought about Infinity War. It's like the Angels just signed Fat Thor, and they're hoping he gets back to regular Thor.
Hey, but that is the Thor that is a god. That is fully charged God Thor. He is at his maximum power. So yes, that is the Thor that you want.
He needs Stormbreaker.
You want Fat Thor?
Yes. Let's kill him properly this time. Let's kill him properly this time.
He wasn't fat when he said that. When he was fat. He
No,
was
he
fat-ish.
was-
He was still fat. Oh, he was still fat.
He
still looked like he still looked like melted ice cream when he said that. He just had on his suit.
That's true.
He told me
That
that
man-
ain't for.
hey,
He
that
told me
man
that
had
ain't
on
for
a
the
waist
head.
trainer. That man had on a waist trainer with a fat suit on. That is the biggest contradiction in working out. How the hell you got on a fat suit and a waist trainer?
Fat Thor on his way to Anaheim.
Man, look, they're doing the right thing, and now let's move on to I know it hits you at home there, Storms. How about Tucker Barnhart going to the Tigers, traded to the Tigers? What do you got to say about that?
So
Waste. I mean,
Watch it.
you
Jerm,
good,
watch it.
bro?
ooh, I ain't got nothing left to
So-
drink.
This is the right move, man. Like the only thing that concerns me about this, like you gotta make room for Stevenson. You gotta make room for Stevenson. Like there's no way around it at this point. You can't pay Tucker Barnhart $7.5 million for a guy who got. I didn't look at how many votes he got, but a guy who got Rookie of the Year votes. He's a hell of a hitter. He needs some work behind the plate, but you get that with experience. So it's the right move. It's they're doing things the right way in terms of advancing the franchise and whatnot. But I am gonna be upset about this trade if we end up with a DH in the National League next year, because now suddenly you've got a lineup spot for Stevenson and you've got still a Gold Glover behind the plate, which we don't have anymore. So, and that is one of the things we were talking about in the chat before we went live, or before, the show is people underestimate, fans in general underestimate the impact that catchers have on the game in the way that they call. 9 times out of 10, it is the catcher that calls the pitch, not the pitcher. When you see a pitcher do this, it's because they're telling the catcher, no, I don't want to throw that pitch. But you don't see that. You see that a lot less now than you used to, because these catchers, everybody's got the film. So they're seeing the same things. They're agreeing. But a catcher's ability to call a game has a bigger impact on the game than anything else, because 9 times out of 10, the pitcher is going to follow suit and go with and throw the pitch the catcher wants. Try to hit the spot the catcher wants it in. So this is a big, big deal, and something I don't think it's talked about enough. Go ahead.
No, just to say what you were saying, me and you were talking, and they underestimate a catcher as much as they underestimate a center in football. That's what it boils down to. And you're right, man. This is one of those things to where we don't know what's going to happen in baseball this year with the DH, and it might hurt some team. And then, case in point, this may hurt you guys more than any other team.
Peyton Manning wouldn't be Peyton Manning without Jeff Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton didn't call his protection. Jeff Saturdays called his protection.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear you, all y'all Peyton Manning fans. Y'all better pipe down.
That ain't what Peyton Manning said on that list.
And the thing that I compared it to before, the thing that I compared it to before the show, which was when the first time that Jorge made the center reference, is, center is the anchor of the offensive line, much in the way the catcher is the anchor of your defense. So, think about the Seahawks when they traded Max Unger for Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's a great player, but the Seahawks got worse.
Yep,
It's true.
Saints got better.
Addition by subtraction.
All right, fellas. So it's getting late here. I'm getting tired, to be honest with y'all. So
so we're gonna
wrap
wrap
up.
up.
What we're gonna do is
hold up. We got
Eduardo
a couple more free agent signings to talk about still.
Eduardo Rodriguez and going to the Tigers, and Andrew Haney, whatever, going to the Dodgers. So
Dodgers about to waste somebody else's career, huh?
Wow. Okay. Now you're being real petty.
No. Haney about to waste some starts.
Yeah. So
hey, let's be real about it.
You get the open hand, the fist, or the deuce. Rock, paper, scissors.
I'm excited for what the Tigers are doing, man. Them getting Eduardo Rodriguez and having Barnhart now, like, man, they're a young team too.
They're not done either.
Huh?
I said the Tigers aren't done spending either.
No, they're not.
They're gonna I don't know what they're gonna get, but they're trying to get another 2 high profile starters.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what they need. Because they have a young nucleus to which they're bringing up into the majors now, and they're gonna be something to contend with. And I'll give them 3 years, probably about 3 years, and they're gonna be something there in the Central. But this pickup by them from getting Rodriguez is pretty big. They gave him 5 years, $77 million, and they're gonna match him with Barnhart, as his catcher and the Gold Glove catcher, and they needed a quality veteran starter. They needed that, and they got it. He had a 4.74 ERA this year, which is not all that great, but still, they needed him in this rotation. The Tigers, like I said, are young and they have money to spend. They haven't spent money in a long time. And it's interesting to see where they put their money, whether they're going to go in the pen or the starters. But like you said, Storms, I think they need one more starter and bolster their pen. because the people they have, you know, on the field right now, as far as the Tigers go, I think they'll be okay. I think they need probably one more bat or so, but I think they should go pitching before they get anybody in the field. What's your opinion on that?
I think this is big for the Tigers, not just because of Eduardo, but you know, like you were saying, they go out and ink another starter, bolster the bullpen, or two more starters, or whatever it is. They play in a division that's had a revolving door at the top spot. You know, it's not like the West where the Dodgers have been in the playoffs for 10 years. You know, this is a division that, you know, it's been the White Sox and the Indians over the last 10 years or so, but there hasn't been a clear-cut top team in that division for a really long time. And, you know, they go out and make the right signings, they have a chance to be that team in that division. I don't think it'll be this year. They'll probably have to add more next year, maybe the year after, but it's the Rodriguez signing and the Barnhart trade are steps in the right direction. And not only that, it's an indication of how serious they are about becoming a contender, that they've done this so early. I know we talked about, you know, part of the reason free agency is moving fast this year is because the CBA expires on December 1st and they got to come to an agreement on a new deal. But, you know, they're sending a message, I think, to the other AL Central teams that we're serious about this. We're going to be here and we're going to be in your face next year, and you're going to have to work for that title. You're not going to cruise since June like you did this year, White Sox. I think that's a big deal.
Ty?
They said it, you know, best, and I agree. When you look at the Tigers in the season they had, besides, you know, the White Sox, there was no other team in that division that went 500 or above. So you catch the White Sox slipping, your chances are good. And why not make that move if you feel that have a couple of young guys that you can work with who are on the cusp of being solid. So if that's the direction they, you know, are heading, and that's, you know, what they want to do as far as supplementing the talent they have, I'm all for it, because you were not that far away from being second in your division when you finish the season. And there isn't that huge of a climb to make. So if you can see yourself reaching the mountaintop, you got to get some supplies. You got to get the right team to get up there. That's your Everest. Go get it, Tigers.
The problem with that division is that it has one good team. Outside of that, it's really you know, you're flipping the coin. And the Dodgers are, I mean, not the Dodgers, the Tigers are not that far away. It's just that they're young. And Chicago has been there and done it, and they really ran with the division, the last 4 years maybe? So, well, outside of the year that the Twins, you know, won the division, which was like, I think 4 years ago. But the Tigers are up and coming. Like I said, watch them in 3 years, and I think where they went wrong, you know, and I mean, they really didn't go wrong, was Mickey. You know, Mickey is past his prime, and he's, unfortunately, is now another Pujols, you know, to where you can't really play him all the time, but you give him his respect because of what he's done in the game, and you kept him around because of his name. You know, he has to reach those milestones, and why not do it while he's wearing your uniform, and he's going to sell you tickets. Let's be honest. You know, that's what they're doing, and that's what they've been doing the past like 3 years. So props to them for holding on to Miggy. You know, it hasn't made him any better, but like I said, give the Tigers 3 years, and they're going to be a force in that central. They just need some time. But
yeah, milestones are a big part of that ticket sales too. Like,
yep.
Who doesn't want to buy a ticket to go out and watch Miggy hit his 600th double, or, you know, I don't. There's another one. His 3,000th hit. He's like 22 hits away, 23 hits away, something like that. So he'll get that in the first month next year.
Yep. And I mean, they can't really be too expensive with the team not being that likely. I mean, let's be honest. You know, they're gonna sell out anyway, but because of that, but they're not gonna be too expensive because of the team, you know. So what do you guys think about that signing? As far, excuse me, as far as the other pitcher goes. Go ahead, Ty, you touch on it since you know him well. The Dodgers signing Andrew.
So interesting enough, like we had him for like a second before, but
Like 4 minutes.
like literally. What I like about this is just that the Dodgers have, first of all, great pitching coaches. Maybe they see something where they can take a few of his pitches and work with it, and you have a guy whose ERA may not be great. It's pretty bad, but they're maybe thinking he's a low budget Robbie Ray as far as he gets those Ks. So if you have the right staff to can maybe work with them, maybe you get a diamond in the rough, and I think that's why they did it for the 1 year. See what he has, let him get out there, and you may get a bad start, but then you may get surprised. So it's a roll of the dice, but it's not a huge gamble.
Roberts will put him well in the rotation. We know that for sure.
No.
Crazy, but I feel like we've been seeing more and more 1 year deals, 1 year deals in baseball.
Oh, no.
Than any other time, because a lot of players are betting on themselves. And as you can see, a lot of these 1 year contracts are working out well for players. It just all depends whether they stay healthy or not. And it's crazy to see that people that can make an absurd amount of money are putting in that 1 year deals and betting on themselves, and then looking for the 4 or 5 year contracts after that.
I have a question about Heaney.
I think it's cool.
Do we know? I know he throws a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. Does he have? Do we know? Does he have any other pitches that he just hasn't used much that they could maybe help develop into a solid fourth pitch?
Talks about adding a slider. Okay,
because I mean that alone could make him a way more effective pitcher. Just depending, or even if they're going to use him, for short starts, if they're gonna say, okay, let's focus on these 2 pitches that you throw better, and throw whether it's the changeup or the curveball in there every now and then to keep hitters on their toes. I mean, there are plenty of guys who make a good living doing that. They're not gonna be your $30 million a year marquee starters, but I mean that's something. Changes like that happen frequently when pitchers go to new teams. So just I'm not saying I expect something like that to happen, but it's something to watch.
I say let Mark Pryor, do his magic, and that's why we have him as our pitching coach. So don't forget, Pryor's still around in this league. He may not be, the name that he was when he was, on the Cubs, but he's still having his influence on the game.
I think more than anything, the hardest thing about putting together your pitching staff in general is about finding the right combination of arms. Because what we always see is back in the old days, what we used to see is they used to try to balance it out, right? Left-handers and right-handers. But it's so hard to find a great left-handed pitcher or a comparable left-handed pitcher that can pitch and go the distance. That's why you have more left-handed relievers, it feels like, than you do have actual left-handed starting pitchers. So it's weird to me, but it's one of those situations where you just right now in this situation, the Dodgers are just looking for another combination of pitchers, which it's not a bad thing to try young guys out, because you never know what guy you may find with some of the younger guys. So, instead of doing the slander this time, I'll say something positive. Switch it up. See, y'all didn't expect that. See?
I damn sure didn't.
Damn. All right, head of the table.
New season, new Jerm.
Yeah, right?
Who this?
Hey,
Who
Hey,
this?
hey, I got that
This
50-50.
man,
I
this
got that
man
50-50 paperwork.
ain't nothing there.
For-
Exactly. He ain't changed. This man talking about a 50-50 contract. Get on somewhere, man.
For all baseball purposes, we are already in 2022, and we got a new term to show for it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. No skipper. Who this?
All right, so I say we cut it there, and then we do the lockout thing next week, because that's already an hour that we went into and we didn't even feel it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to touch on something real fast if we got like a few minutes.
Go ahead.
Right. Because we've talked a lot about where Robbie Ray might end up. Yeah, it's possible he goes back to Toronto, although I would say probably kind of unlikely. Which makes it all the more huge that they extended Jose Barrios, however it's pronounced. They gave him,
He had
You
it
said
right
it
the first time.
time.
Yeah, Barry.
Yeah, what was it, 7 years, 140?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a big deal for Toronto because of the uncertainty with that. They may lose Robbie Ray, who was their ace last year, and not only that, something that I thought was a big deal and very promising is this. Barrios is a guy who has not typically been as good after the break last year, but he was great after he got to Toronto, and not last year. I mean, over the course of his career, but after he got to Toronto, he pitched pretty well. I mean, he wasn't 100% of the same guy he was before the break, but it was much less of a drop off, and I think that's really encouraging if you're a Blue Jay fan moving forward. You got a guy who you just locked into a 7-year deal who's entering his prime and probably only going to get better from here, at least for the next 2 or 3 years. I think that's huge. And it makes it so they can lose Ray. And, as long as they don't, they don't have, do they have any other starters that are free agents this year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
There is coming back.
Yeah. So you lose Ray and you're not hurting too much. And if you can sign even just a mid-level guy to come into the rotation to replace Ray, you're in good shape.
So with that being said, as we wrap up the show here, the big thing here is we'll touch on the lockout situation next week, because I think that'll be a good thing. That'll be a show that we can really hone in on some of those details, gather more information. But the free agent part of this is picking up now. We'll have a whole nother free agent show where we'll be doing after the fact, because that's when more stuff will be more concrete and solid. We'll start to see what teams' plans are as we continue to go through here with the free agent. This is just the first wave. So with that being said, that's Jorge, that's Storms, that's Ty, that's Trav. This is the newly acquired Angels skipper mixed with the.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
No, that's not what we're not gonna do.
We're not gonna do that.
Get your hitters.
It's
Right.
it's Jerm Madden.
That being said, this is The Dish live on the scene, The Dish Scene Instagram, The Dish Scene on Twitter. Make sure you join the Dish group on Facebook as well. Make sure y'all catch us next time. We'll see y'all.
Resign Freddie Freeman.
We ain't